W240 DJs, Washington, 95.9. WPRS HD2, Waldorf, WKYS HD, Washington, WMMJ HD2, Bethesda.
I'm not ready to learn. I gotta get my mind right. We're live. Hi, guys. I'm not ready. I'm going to figure it out.
Right. What's the life morning show time, right? You know that.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? It's the Archie Beslow Show. Let's figure it out on WL 95.9 FM, 1450 AM, WLDCnews.com, where information is power. Tomorrow is what? Labor Day?
Labor Day.
Labor Day. First of all, I'm going to introduce my good friend, Mrs. Laverne.
Champion!
I mean, right? So we're gonna get it right. There you go. Yeah, and she got like 12 names.
Stop it.
It's a joke. It's a joke. I always that's funny because my mom has like Regina Beslow -T. It's like you even got some football players with like multiple names.
Yeah.
But that just means that not only one person loves you, somebody else that loves you as well. So that's how we want to look at that. But wait, that's a whole other show. We can keep it positive. So we do know after Labor Day, school starts. Let me get this mic close to my sister so we can. So she brought a very valid point. Well, I want to encourage the young men and young women that are, if you're not already in school and you're going back to school, remember school is for the betterment of you. School is not for you to impress mom and dad or to impress your peers. School is so you can turn out to be a great person, a person that can get a check, can get your own car, pay for your own clothes, be self-sufficient. Yeah, a lot of our kids look at school as if it's a punishment. Nah, go to school and stop. And have these kids stop saying, my teachers don't like me. Teachers don't go to school or teach kids to not like you.
Not at all. When you go to school, every teacher walks in the door at the beginning of the school year with very, very high expectations.
Right.
They really want to have a great year because they spent, time over the summer doing self-improvement themselves. So now they just want the best student to be in front of them. But not even say based on their ability, but just based on the ability to be open and receptive to education and the process. And when that doesn't happen, that's when the shift starts to occur. And then we start looking for the holidays and when's the next day off and when's the next teacher professional day and when y'all going home half a day.
So what she's saying is y'all stressing the teachers out. Y'all not even realizing that the teachers are stressed out or beginning to be stressed out during the summertime, getting prepared to give you all the best that they have.
Yeah.
I do want to help the parents and their kids that are going to school, both elementary, middle school, and high school. We have to all start working together so that our kids can be successful. We have to, instead of just going to PTA meetings, form a certain type of dialogue with your teachers. And I'm gonna tell you how it works for me, because it's like, and I'm gonna go there. I won't go jump into this part of the show right away, but you know how I am.
We might as well.
So it's amazing to me how you can have a great relationship with your son's or daughter's youth sports coach.
Okay.
And I'm going there.
Okay.
And you're putting all your time and attention into that child being the greatest athlete possible. But when it comes time to talk to Mrs. Jones or Dr. Smith with the academics, it comes from more of an angry type of conversation. A conversation of anger opposed to a conversation of excitement. Which I'm in.
I have never been able to understand that concept or that aspect of socialization, simply because, especially because I am a coach and I am a teacher. I've had parents that would talk to me my head off in the middle of a gym, but won't come and see me they don't even show up. They don't even stop at the table, the classroom, wherever, at a parent-teacher conference time. And I think it's because I think parents oftentimes feel like success on the field or the playing surface happens a little bit more easier because of some natural athleticism sometimes versus what can mentally happen in the brain.
Right.
If they feel like their child cannot be successful or not having grades like they should, there's often it's a barrier that's there that they don't have control over.
I have something in my second book called The Mentor That Inspires. There's a quote I put in my book, and I simply say, if your job is having a ceremony and 25 people work for this particular office, and all 25 people have invited someone to come to the ceremony, because the boss didn't say, hey, sir, these people are getting awards and these people are not. They just say, hey, come to this award ceremony.
Right.
So you got your whole office coming to the award ceremony. And out of those 25 people, only 20 people get certificates or what have you. So how do you think those 5 adults feel? They invited people to the award ceremony and they didn't get anything. How do you think they feel?
They're embarrassed.
They're embarrassed. So now let's flip it, because you know I'm a coach. How do we coaches and parents think kids feel when you are rewarding all these other kids? They got their grandmothers come to the games, their grandfathers come to the game, their brothers and sisters come to the game, and the kids don't even get in the game. And these are kids. So how should that be socially accepted when that's another thing people seem to forget, Laverne. We as adults don't accept a lot of things. So why is it that we're expecting our kids to accept it?
Because the kids don't know better. They don't feel like kids have emotion.
Okay.
They don't feel like kids can actually discern what's right and what's wrong. And it's pretty much, you do what I tell you to do. Or I paid this money, so you're going to accept this and that and the other.
And that's where your suicide comes into place. That's when your disrespect comes into place. That's when your kids don't want to do their homework. There's a whole bunch of components that come into play when we once again are not thinking about how the kids feel.
Because at this present time, it's not about feelings. It's about a W. It's about the wins and the losses. That's all youth sports is starting to become, and it is dangerously.
About the woman on it.
It's becoming dangerously so when it comes to the wins and the losses.
So today's topic.
I guess we roll right
We're
into
gonna
that,
roll
right?
right into it. Today's topic is. So I'm speaking from. There are a lot of personal trainers out here, and by no means am I knocking anyone that's out here. They have their own personal training companies, because I have a lot of friends that own their personal training companies to get kids to become better. But my question is what we're talking about today, Laverne. Are the personal trainers taking the place of the kids that have the heart and the desire to compete in the sports, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, and track? You know, we come from a place when we grew up, it was just you did your push-ups at home. We didn't even jog. We had people that was running in the mile, that ran like cross country and all that.
Yeah.
Man, they wasn't running every day. They didn't have all these dudes training them and all that. They just ran because they had it on their heart to be great.
Right.
Just like the football players. We couldn't go to I ain't gonna call no names out. We gonna make up names. We couldn't go to Dynamite Mike's and become a great football player. You know what I mean? We didn't have Dynamite Mike's back in the day.
Right.
Take your time.
I think that the personal training thing, it has its place. If the trainers and parents recognize what that place is.
Gotcha.
Because where the disconnect happens is where the trainer, you're helping the child get bigger, faster, stronger. Okay? So the child is like, okay, they see the development in muscularly, they see their speed, picking up, but when they cross the line of, now when you get all this skill sets that we can do all these cones and stuff,
Right.
that's how you got to do it when you get in the game. But they don't even know what the system is that you're running. They don't know the other personnel around you.
Right.
It's not your one-man show. You take your individual skills and you let that be able to be implemented within the system that you're working in and playing in to be able to be effective. Not make it about me and now I done my thing.
So I'm about to jump out there because I'm about to jump out there. I like to stir the pot up.
Go ahead.
So back in the day, when you was going to wreck someone or fight, you ain't had no boxing gym. You ain't had no boxing gym.
Mm-hmm.
So just because somebody teach you how to fight,
don't mean you can fight.
Don't mean you can fight. Well, so I'm gonna go here.
Oh, it goes like this, right, Archie? It goes to you can fight until you get hit.
Until you get hit.
Now what do you go to?
What you gonna do? You can't say, well, my coach such and such taught me how to bob and weave and all. Yeah, the dude that you bout. My point on this show is we can train, trust me, don't get me wrong. Is training is important. My thing is what I always talk about when I'm talking about the youth and even high school students. Is this something that the child is desiring to do? Or is because he's doing it because his other peers are doing it and they're great? Is he doing it because the parents are investing in him to be great? Does he come from a place of low self-esteem? Are we asking these questions?
They're not being asked. They're not being asked. Because the simple thing is a lot of children don't even know how their bodies move. And so, but you're going to start paying money to teach them how to move instead of just putting them outside, go play. Put them in an environment where they can actually just learn, which is what we did. You learned how to be an athlete. You learned how to run because somebody was chasing you. You were just out there flat out, just running around, having fun.
Just having the ball.
Having fun. That's how you like, dang, you fast, man. You fast, girl. You can jump real high.
You're on my team. I'm going to put him on my team.
Exactly. That's how you learned it. It wasn't going to no specialty place at 6 years old.
Right. Oh, my God. And
at 7 years old.
Give us a call, 800-450-7876. 800-450-7876. Yes, I want to hear from you guys. Is personal training, at what age should your child go and receive personal training? And if you can, I want some people to chime in on how effective the personal training is. And also let me know if personal training wasn't what you thought it was going to be when your child got into it. So I always go back and talk about the greats. All the great athletes, professional athletes, they came from a place of struggle.
Okay.
So if you actually talk to an athlete that's doing great, they went through life not having. So their motivation was to make sure mom had a home, or make sure dad got his first car, or make sure his brothers and sisters were taken care of. That to me took place of the personal training because that came from a place of desire. If you desire something, you're more apt to achieve it because you desire it and it's a form of passion. If someone say, hey, you should try this. That's like a meal. Hey, you should try this. Where if you thinking about steaks right now, you don't want to experiment on this meal that a person is telling you to try.
You can't train heart. You can't teach heart. Heart is just something that's inbred in you.
Right.
I don't care how many gyms you go to. There's something that clicks. That's why I respect a track athlete so much. Simple reason is because when track, you train to learn, make sure you learn its proper technique so that you won't have so much wind resistance. But at the end of the day, when it's your event, you look at that person beside you in the lane, you're like, it ain't nothing but you in that lane.
That's it.
When you're looking at that doggone high jump, that pole vault, whatever, it's just you in those lines. There is nothing else that is going to come into play. So if you scratch on the first one, it's your mental ability to be able to say, okay, this is what I did. You quickly process what you did before you go back and do your next round. There ain't nothing else that's going to teach that. And that next extra push you got to give don't come from training.
I'm ready to make some people mad. So, here we go. Survey says, what my problem with it all is, I've coached a lot of kids. I know there are a lot of parents that are paying for kids to go to personal training. But I also know there are a lot of parents that are not paying or complain about sending their kids to tutoring.
Yes, that is so true.
Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Go.
Okay.
Go. You can
This right
you can
here.
pay for little Mikey to do 400 push-ups, but you can't pay for little Mikey to know what 2 + 2 equals?
That is the most, asinine thing I've ever seen in my life. For the simple reason is, if the academics of a student, no matter how fast they get, their academic side is not balanced. And they are just as smart. They're getting their grades. They understand that there's some work that got to be put in to be a good student athlete. Again, the word is student athlete. If the work is not being put in for that, and the parents will not pay $25 an hour for a tutor, and $25 an hour for a tutor is cheap. Right. It is dirtball cheap. It is a disrespect to the doggone profession.
Oh, yeah.
However, you will pay $50+ an hour for a trainer.
Come on, man.
And I don't, again, as Archie has said several times, nobody's here to bash that, but you got to be able to balance the two. Simply because if you don't know where to get your child help from, and there's trainers there to do that, that's why the tutor is also there to help you academically.
And what are the conversations we're having? So all of our young kids have peers. So if you know your son, man, his man is, or your daughter's girlfriend don't have the same means or resources that you have, whether you care about it or not, that's affecting both sides. So now their mom and dad can't afford to send their son to the trainer, but they're best friends. While his friend is actually going to trainers and he's coming back bragging about how good he's getting. We come from a society that we're caring just about ourselves.
And people stop playing. And that's one thing that makes people start to fall off. Now, those that care about their friend, when you get a good kid that says, come on, man, this is what they're showing me. And they start, helping their friend and say, work with me on this. Let's go after, let's say, go early to practice, stay after practice, see me on the weekend. And they'll work with their friend. But that's on a child level. But we're not doing that as a...
Speak, sister, speak.
But we're not doing that as adults. As each other. No, if I bring another friend, can I get a package deal that we can come together? That's not happening.
And that's the whole proponent of it. And like we're saying, by no means this show is to... We just have to utilize and point out things that are actually going on in society. There are a lot of people that are taking classes. So this is another thing too. And you guys already know how my show is. I jump from place to place. If you're going to invest in something, let's invest in the sure thing. If I'm going to spend my money on something, I want to spend my money on something for sure.
Okay.
If my son say, hey, Pops, I want to be a great basketball player. So right then and there, bet. I'm going to invest in him. But if my son is trying his best on his own and he's saying, I just don't think this for me, I'm not going to invest my money into that until he and I actually have a sit-down conversation and say, hey, okay, what do you want out of this? Do you want this because you just want to play ball competitively? Are you doing it to get a scholarship? So now if kids say they want to do X, Y, Z because I want to get a scholarship, then that's an investment.
It's an investment.
Right. If you're just doing it just to make your son or daughter better to just win this year's championship, then that's... should I use my own words? No, go ahead. It's a radio show. I trust me. I ain't always right. By no means. But I'm going to speak my piece because, like I said, I deal with a lot of kids on a regular basis. So the things I'm speaking from comes from what kids are actually telling me.
Okay, well, in that, when trying to get individually better yourself, when you're trying to get better yourself, and you paralleling that, so if you got your personal trainer, you got your academic piece, and then Lord knows you can't forget being a good character person, and you're running those two things together, it's going to set you up to be able to get a scholarship,
right? Because
you've done the work,
right?
At this present time, because of the climate, what it takes now to get a scholarship, you can't really take away one for the other. Like you cannot necessarily say you don't play for a club team anymore, don't play for an AAU team, don't go to a combine. You can't say those things because the next level expects you to have done all of these things. And so it puts a parent in a trick bag because they don't know. They may not say, I don't want or I can't afford to do these things. But guess what? If I don't do it, they're not going to be ready. So that's the beast that we're in. And so where is the balance? How does, if Okay, let's say next level. Next level is NCAA.
Yes, it is.
So if NCAA is setting up the entry door.
Well, we gonna take this commercial because we about to get into it.
Oh yeah.
And also, when we come back from the break, we're gonna get into when a child tells you, "Mom and Dad, I don't want to do this anymore." Okay. We'll be right back on the Archie Beslow Show. Let's figure it out. WAO 95.9 FM, 1450 AM. Be right back.
My name is Jamali Rasheers.
So that's what we're gonna. When we come back, that's what we're gonna.
In my life, but lots of kids in my community.
That's what we're gonna touch on. That whole.
I'm an advocate and fundraiser.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do this.
I help promote academic achievement and give kids a
Okay.
reason to stay in school.
From the out.
We put together events to raise funds.
My daughter played
a message to the kids
middle school ball.
My name is Jamali Rasheers. I don't just wear the shirt.
Okay, she did cheerleading when she was really young. She didn't want after her first year, she didn't want to do that. I was glad because I ain't like cheerleading no way. But when it came to, she played middle school ball, basketball. After 8th grade year, she didn't want to play basketball anymore. Basketball, I'm like, okay. But well, of course, we told our kids, whatever you start, you must finish within that year. We reevaluate. But what she will always try, or in my son, he just played everything, and he continued to play.
You got it? We gotta let you downstairs.
Oh, she said we can walk down straight in.
The steps?
No.
You need a key card to get to the first floor. Ask her, can you go down without having the key card for the first floor?
First floor. Okay, thank you. She'll be back. I'm gonna text you.
Call me, let me know what we're doing.
And we need to have a parenting show.
Let's do it.
Because guess what?
Hey, sweetie.
If I say you gonna stay, you gonna stay.
Wait a minute.
Okay, mama.
I am invested so much.
See, I'll get ready.
I got you.
We're gonna talk about that. Definitely
Decide last minute.
Maybe we should stop acting like
And don't necessarily need last minute. It's just in the process because it ain't what they thought it was going to be. And then because you paid money, are they supposed expected to stay in it? Why?
Because you teaching them.
Let me ask you this. If you get married and because you to death do us part, and you don't like that man no more, your spouse, do you get the divorce or do you stay in it because you committed that
time.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about
Yeah.
Everybody come back on, y'all.
You got it.
Ready.
Don't get started.
Exactly.
WLDCnews.com.
Hey, we're back. I kind of stressed that we're back because I like that song that was playing. Anyway, so look, that's a very fair question. I get, so by me being a mentor and deal with a lot of kids across the country, I get phone calls. Sometimes I even get phone calls where I recently got a phone call about a young man that had the opportunity to play professional baseball.
Okay.
But he told his mom, I just don't want to do it. Mom, you don't understand. What do you do with that?
You first recognize that it is at this point when they're especially 18, college or beyond, that it's their journey.
Mm-hmm.
You've done your part as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
They have to work through. They're the ones that have to get up, go to practice, do that level of commitment, play the game. And if it's not in their heart or their desire no more, then the level of success they could have, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Because it's beyond just what your skill sets are.
And it takes us back to what the show
Exactly.
Their training and all that. We can train all day.
Mm-hmm.
If a person don't have first of all, if the person don't have the passion in their heart, the only thing that makes us go to work and do what we do at work is that paycheck.
That's definitely motivating. Yes.
That's motivating. So we have to find motivating things, and you know, I start something out to get to a certain point, and I always go back to the whole thing about having those communications, those conversations with your kids. if you know your child is an aspiring athlete and you see something in your child, and it's fair to say a lot of kids don't see their own potential because they're not
Correct.
mature enough to see it. So as an adult, if you're not coming from a selfish place to get your son or daughter to be great, then by all means, encourage them.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have, as a matter of fact, it's easier to have that conversation with your child so that you can know what your next steps are.
And that you're not wasting money.
You're not wasting money and time. And you're not wasting the
coach's time.
Come on, man. Because
The
a lot of
coach's
coaches say
time
that babysitter thing.
You know, but think about even as a coach, you have a player, and you know you tell players that you probably may not be able to play at the next level, or you might need to play at this particular level. That's where you can fit. But no, they want to go a little bit higher or something like that. The level of honesty. And they want you to put their name out there. They want you to make that phone call for them. And you as a coach got to say, I can't call that school for you because if I give you them, they're going to think I, as a coach, cannot recognize talent that they would be looking for, the level of talent, which is going to then put a bad look on you as a coach because you sent them somebody that's going to close the door on recruiting that could come through based on your word.
Can I get deep?
Yeah.
You sure?
Go ahead.
Nikki, can I get deep? Nikki, can I get deep on the show? Nikki, my engineer said absolutely. Whew. I had to pray. I had to do a quick prayer real quick on this one. I have a problem with this day and time. We are calling our football players 5-star, 4-star, 3-star.
Start that.
Do we not know where that stuff derived from?
No.
Okay. The trying to yeah, okay. We're giving our kids numbers.
So if you taking it
I'm taking
way back.
I take it back.
You took it way back.
Back. Auction.
This scrappy young man here.
Come on.
Come right on. Here. You know, this is going to get this bill for you.
It's based off of a combine. It's based off of a kid hopping and jumping. Are we gonna talk about it, Laverne? Run,
Negro, run.
Come on, man.
How high can you jump? Jump. So but again, the industry, the system of where we want our kids to be, whether it is going to college, whether it is going to NFL, whatever professional sport, requires this kind of setup. So how do you change it? How do you get it back to where we're not compromising, selling our souls to the devil? Or to the highest bidder to save this child right now, because when people are doing this to 5 and 6 and 7 year olds, that right there it's unheard of, it's unbelievable, but people think it's okay.
The majority of the programs in the area, unless you're a top program, you may have a handful of 5 stars. So now, first of all, what are you teaching? What are you teaching the kids? You teaching, that's what I'm talking about. Get that, I'm trying to rattle some feathers. So my thing is, what are we teaching? So now he's a 5-star. We got 2 5 stars. So we don't even have a star. I'm not even a circle. we got some online nigga. I'm trying to. We got the voice himself. Is he in the building?
Hold up, wait a minute.
Hey, Wayne, we need a fire extinguisher up in this jump.
Let me put the voice up, and I told you, when you brought the subject up, she was going to bring the heat. That's what she there for. I'm telling you.
Right.
I sit down with the strong sister, I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
We trying to figure out where they got these numbers on our kids. I ain't feeling that. I ain't figured. I took it there.
Hey.
I took it there.
It's going to continue to be something that we have to raise awareness on, not only from a parental perspective, but to be able to reach out and extend our knowledge, not only in the media and in the coaching realm, to those parents who are unaware and uninitiated, because so many of these student athletes are being raised in single-parent homes. Many of the women or men, because they are single-parented men out here doing their thing, that are looking at things from face value, and they don't get a chance to really see the intangibles that go into this game.
I want to see.
To be successful.
Hey, hold your thought, real.
Do it right.
Hold on, Wayne. Hey, Nikki, can you lock Wayne in so that he can be locked in while I take this other caller? Wayne, I want you to be a part of the show. And we're gonna take this other caller. It's gonna all chime into what we're talking about.
No doubt.
But you're on it. Matter of fact, is Tiffany, you on the line?
I'm here.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for calling the Archie Beslow show.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good, dear. Go ahead, speak.
I was just calling in about just the whole athletic realm.
Yes, ma'am.
And what we need to constantly put in the forefront of the parents' mind, that parents sometimes need to stay in parent lane.
Yep.
Because I've experienced as a coach, as a parent, and as an athlete, I experienced that many parents who have never established that all-star mentality within themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
To their children, and if they never made it to the next level, they're trying to coach their children without allowing the coach to coach themselves.
Come on, man.
As a coach, I'm like, sit over there on the other side and let me coach. And allow me to do what I need to do, because you don't know what I'm telling in my huddle or in my group.
Hey, Tiff, let me jump in real quick. So I'm not going to tell you the organization I was coaching for, but I was coaching basketball. And this one particular instance is why I stopped coaching basketball. So we were in a regional championship. I called the timeout, set up a play. We was down 1. So the kid I had went to the point, went to the pivot. The play went through him, but he wasn't supposed to take the last shot. So the ball got to him. His dad just so happened to be standing down in the corner on the baseline yelling, shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. So guess what? The play was ran. The guy that the ball was supposed to go to, he popped open right on the box. It would have been an easy layup, right? Guess what the kid did? The kid shot a jumper, and it was an air ball with no seconds on the clock.
Exactly.
Because he had to make a decision whether he's going to disrespect his dad or was he going to disrespect Coach Archie.
Exactly, and this is what we go through all the time. But I used to be an athletic administrator years ago, and I used to tell my coaches, those parents who typically give you the most problems are those parents who never played on the next level. Who don't understand what it entails in order to be a good athlete.
Right.
I played on a collegiate level. I understand that when my coach says something, it's because they're saying something for the betterment of the organization who they're with.
First and foremost.
A lot of parents don't know how to do that.
Right.
So,
That's powerful.
It really is powerful, but this is the other thing. As a woman athlete and as a woman parent of athletes, do you understand? I had a coach come over to me and ask me about my child. He needs to stay at AAU. Well, I'm not all into the AAU saying, we work our children out ourselves because we both played on the collegiate level. His father and I. So this parent told me, well, where's his father? Maybe I can talk to him because you might not understand. So I had to break him all the way down and ask him, which I've never done. Who have you ever coached besides Little League?
Come on now.
Who have you? And I said, listen. He was like, oh, I went to, what school did you go to? He was like, I went to Dunbar. I said, well, I'm sorry, babe. Not knocking anything.
Exactly.
I'm talking about collegiate college. Where did you go on the college level?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like looking at him because I'm a female and made it appear that I'm not what you want me to be,
Right.
or what you think I shouldn't be, then you won't go on to the next person because I'm not a male. Like, that was so degrading.
And Tiff, but they don't realize, I'm a high school football coach, and there are a lot of college coaches that come through to the coach's office, and they're not just looking for the athlete. They're trying to fill out how the parents are. If the character and the parents is not correct, they're not going to recruit your kid. Because on that level, there are so many kids that they can choose from. And we try to tell the parents all the time, you are hurting your child.
Children, right.
On a whole bunch of
They
fronts.
haven't been on the other level. Like,
Right.
coaching is so important. When I used to be blowing teams out of the high school basketball coach, what I used to do, slow the game down. I told my girls, you got 30 seconds on the shot clock. Everybody touches the ball twice.
There we go.
Don't play.
There we go.
No 3 points, lay it up, right?
There we go.
But it's just a fast break, pull back, relax.
There we
That's
go.
it now practicing, right?
Yeah.
They're like, shoot the ball. Why you got your big?
They don't get it.
Put the ball down on the floor. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. in college, in high school, I was a big. In college, I really wasn't.
Right.
So I was able to now share the knowledge that I had on my high school career and say, my big can take it out the basket and push it down the floor and everybody spread the floor. Because guess what? On the college level, if I'm getting them ready and prepared, on the college level, they're probably not going to be that big. They're going to be that 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah.
They got to learn how to handle the ball. But the parents are like, get it, pull up.
They're right.
The guards are smothering the big, like, no, get out of here.
Right.
My parents. You want to listen to your parents, you can, I called the timeout and told the child, you can come off, take my uniform off, go sit with your parents.
But you also teach, but coach and Brother Wayne, you can jump in there. But you also, since you're also teaching life skills, and people don't get it, is the sport component is just a fraction of it, but the life skills part of it is huge, because if we're also incorporating life skills, the kids are going to perform better on the court and off the court, just along with the life skills itself. And once again, they don't realize that you're teaching the child to either disrespect you as the parent or disrespect the coach. There's no in between. And guess 9 times out of 10, go ahead, LeBron.
Well, there's one thing I always tell parents too. That conversation you have in the car and you dogging out your coach.
It's in my book.
And you're dogging out the coach in the car, and then the next day the kid come to practice, they looking at you all crazy, not responding to you the same way, and then you got to go to the parent like, hey, okay, so what was that conversation
And
about?
they're gonna tell you.
They're not going to say,
That's my
no, they ain't
child.
saying nothing, but okay, your child can play for you, or they can not play on the team. It's real simple, because unfortunately in high school sports, and we take children because we want to give all children the opportunity to have the high school experience. However, parents expect us to take the punishment of what they want to deliver to us because of the fact we public school, I pay my taxes.
Right.
Yeah, but no, you ain't paid to disrespect me or the rest of the team or everybody else in the gym for your own.
This is where the anomaly starts. As coaches and as players and former players, we all see it from a different perspective. From a parent that is just trying to get the best out of their kid or maximize their kid, this is where the importance of grooming them, not only on how the interaction should be on the youth level, prepares them for high school, and not only the interaction with the parents, understanding that their capacity in this is more than just bringing him back and forth to practice or making sure he's nutritionally sound. If you choose to do training, that's extracurricular, that's fine too. But you're a bigger part of the recruiting process than just your financial aid and your W-2 forms as far as your action.
Right.
I've seen a lot of great student athletes that had great grades, great talent, but didn't get that look at certain schools because the conduct of the parents was different.
Right.
So you have to look at the way you are. But for us in media right now, the initial problem once again is the way the parents respond or try and guide the kids while they're in the course of play. This is where on the youth level they need to be brought in and say, hey, look, the coaches handle this. There's no reason for you to call your son over to the sideline and he's already on the bench. We're coaching him, we got him. All the extracurricular stuff, you're going to get him hurt.
Hey, Wayne.
It happen more times than not.
Exactly. And Wayne, in real talk, we have to start holding these organizations to actually have parenting classes.
Absolutely.
They want, again, as I said, the parents want them, but again, when you empower parents to a certain degree, it requires the organization to meet a certain level of expectation. As long as people don't know, you can always keep your foot on their neck. Well, when somebody's saying, okay, get that off. Yeah. Now what you want to do?
Yeah, they
so it's definitely necessary. And I say those parenting classes got to be more than the concussion thing. It needs to be about how do you conduct yourself sportsmanship. It has to be the whole realm.
That's why we created Voicemail to educate the parents on the sides that most youth organizations or rec league teams aren't going to grab them to. Once again, if the youth team does decide to do that, most times they're charged for it, and because it has to be funded to have somebody come in. And then secondly, you're not guaranteed to get full participation. Because if you got a single mom or single dad, like I said, or maybe they're even a couple, schedules that conflict with just being there to sit down and get all of that. So they're going to see it within the community and the bleachers. If one person has class, then usually it spreads. If one person is up there acting uncool, then it usually spreads. So these things are why we take voicemail, and throughout the course of the week or whenever we get a chance on the PA to sprinkle gems of, hey, look, this is how it should be. This is what we aspire for it to be. And these are the kind of goals we need to set, because ultimately, whether you like it or not, you are your kids' first role model.
Hey, Tiffany. Hey, so Tip, I'm going to need you to hold the line because I'm very interested in your dialogue, and I need to take this other caller. Can you hold the line, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Brother Williams on the line?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Outstanding. Thanks for calling the Archie Beslow Show.
It's always good to hear and talk to you. Good discussion, and also hello to the panel. As a former coach partner, I'm just going to say this. I used to send a letter out to all my parents before we even started the season. Let them know what was going to be tolerated, what was not going to be tolerated. Let them know if they got out of line as far as being disrespectful, as far as the language that was going to be used, no profanity, no disrespect, no approaching the coaches out of line, all of that.
Yes, sir.
And I would tell them, if you acted up, you risk your child not even being on the team.
That's powerful.
Okay?
Yep.
With basketball, with football, whatever it was I was coaching, even as a director, what would not be tolerated in the league. Now, I'm going to give an example, and I'm going to get off the phone. One year, I had a parent who told me while we was in the playoffs, Coach, it was my fault we lost this game. Her whole ride on the way to the game, she was telling her son, who was our starting quarterback, it's up to you. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. When we lost the game, this is the first game all year that he threw his first interception in the playoffs. I turned to my offensive coordinator. I said, there's something wrong with him because I've never seen him in pregame doing what he was doing. I thought he had an injury. At the end of the game, after the game, she says, Coach, it may have been my fault because in the car ride I was telling. So she put so much pressure on her own son that she said it may have been my fault. Now, we never put the pressure on the young man.
Right. We normally don't. Right.
Right. And so, again, for all the parents who are listening, if you know your child, and the coaches, if we take time to know all our players, we know which ones can handle pressure and which ones can't.
That's right.
Because that's part of our job. We're getting out there, we're learning the players, rely on us to do what we need to do.
Amen.
This young man, he came from the AAU system in basketball. He's playing football for the first time, but he's a stud.
Got you.
Again, he's out there, the young men are like, you need to try him at quarterback. I put him at quarterback, and he was a natural.
See?
However, he's now in the playoffs. He's doing exceptionally well, but we get to this point, I'm like, Mom, Dad, don't add no extra pressure. Let him just do what he's doing.
Right.
But again, some of the parents feel like, okay, I need to step in where the coach is at. Sometimes let the coach just, if you want to join the coaching staff, come on and join.
Trust the process. Coach,
And that's all I'm saying.
they got to trust the process.
I love you. I'm going to keep listening.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, my friend.
Outstanding, my man.
All right.
Hey, he said it. And if you can you bring Miss Tiffany back on it? Tiffany back on the air? Miss Tiffany still in?
Yeah, I'm here.
Outstanding. Yes, ma'am. So he brought a very valid point, and we all can attest to it about, and Laverne just hit it on the head, is that conversation before the game and that conversation after the game is more detrimental to the child's life, not even the sports aspect of it. Because now, once again, I say it all the time, kids are getting disciplined at school, they're getting disciplined at home. Now their sports is their outlet.
That's their supposed to be their outlet.
But that's what they learn. And we all play sports. We really learned what respect meant in most cases coming from our coaches.
Very much, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because we was taught team and we was taught everything.
You was taught time management. Come on, getting on the line, getting where you're supposed to be. You know, you learn your teamwork.
Yep.
That it takes more than just you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You taught sharing. Oh my God! You learn everything.
How to forgive.
What? Or the fact that you really learned how to work with somebody that you didn't necessarily like.
What'd you say, Tim? You're right, bro.
Or how to dig down deep within your teammates
Come on, man.
You're not yelling at them.
Come on.
It is just all the energy right there. But once you come off the field, the court, wherever you are as a team, you're still cool. You're still teammates.
There you go.
This is interpret that energy on the court to he don't like me or he don't like me off the court because I yelled at you or told you to pick up the darn block. Like, it's crazy. But that is something we have to allow the children to build. But I want to touch base on what the young man just said. He was on the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that parent probably, again, was not a parent who was an athlete because that parent would have known not to do that. So she or he is living through my kid. Like, my kid looks like a superstar. I want him to continue. Not understanding that, relax. My kids have the quiet time, whatever music you want to listen to. I ask them, what are you playing? What's your plan or what's your goal to do on the field on the court today? You know what I'm saying? Let me see what he wants, what his knowledge is, and say, okay, go out there and try to put it in. And if you can't, it's okay.
Can we all agree? Can we all agree that kids at an early age whose parents are pushing them is money motivated?
Oh, serious. But let me just tell you this.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how many? So my child is one of those gifted and talented athletes.
Yes, ma'am.
I can honestly say it, right?
Uh-huh.
But we are parents that, you know how many people approach us? My baby is in 7th grade. They talking about he need to reclassify.
Oh, that's a whole nother show, Tiff.
He need to be going to AAU. Why he don't play travel ball? And I said, you know what?
Right.
Because all the skills and drills he gonna get is, trust me, within his mother and his father. We will do a good job at that. But at the same time, guess what? It's not about him going to the NBA or NFL or MLB. It's about him growing with what he has right now to develop to make him successful for high school and then for college, hopefully freshman on the 4 athletic scholarships. And then in the event that it happens, fantastic. And if it doesn't, it's okay too.
All right, hey Tiff, these phone calls are blowing up, man. Valley, hey, voice, Tiff, y'all hold on. We're gonna take this other call, man. We all gonna chime in together. We got Coach Gray on the line.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling the Archie Beslow Show, sir.
Thank you very much. And hey, Coach.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I've been coaching high school football sports over 24 years. I was active or outside the sport. I train athletes. Look, ever since the lottery started in the sports, changed the whole context of how our kids are playing sports. It becomes a business game. And I saw a lot of NFL players. I've gone to Reeves, Camp, Gerald. I've met all these folks. They don't hit in practice. There's a no-hit policy 7 days.
Right. Well, we stopped there too at Carroll. Yeah.
It play on Sundays.
Right.
So you have the course of training, you have the training up, but then you're talking about fragileness of our kids psychologically. Okay? Me as a coach, I know where I want to go in my program. The young man that's down in Wise High School right now, Delon Parrish, everybody makes fun of him because he's winning. Okay? He's winning. He's going the right way. The AAU sector, I'm part of that. It's a business.
Right.
When you take the coaching aspect away from why these kids are playing today, because it's an investment.
Right.
Most is from the parents. You can see how much money can be generated for the future. You know, this word education. When we talk about these sports, education is not even part of the narrative.
It don't even come up. It don't come up, Coach. It comes up. It comes up as an afterthought.
Well, here's the reason why it's afterthought. If you get the money, you can always go to college. When you're 95 years old.
Yeah, man.
100 years.
Yeah.
You know, like the school system, that system, institution will never close with. So if you get the money, you can go when the game is over.
Amen. I got it.
See, that's what we're talking about today. It has changed from a business aspect. Now, coaches, we're so powerful.
Right.
How come more coaches don't stand up and say, here's my standard?
Come on, man.
If it's not in order, they're not going to work.
Because the parents are going to pour their children. That's the thing. Those areas where people can pull their children from the teams that they're on and put them somewhere else, that's what they're afraid of. So they go places where they could run roughshod or they could bark enough to make a coach do what they want them to do.
And those kids turn out not to be successful.
I'm about to say, the problem with that is, that kid, guess what? They looking for another kid. If another kid boot my kid out, then I'm backburner just like the other kids
Yeah,
were.
that's
So
facts.
instead of trying to develop the students and the athletes, instead of moving them all around and
Teaching them commitment too, Tiff.
you giving me all the glorified information, but guess what? You did the same exact thing. You sat on the same person's couch. You talked to the parents just like you talked to 10 other parents. So those kids are coming in thinking, I'm the man. My coach individually talked to me. Well, he individually talked to me too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying you got to compete for this spot once you get there.
Understand that reclassification, this has been going on for 30 years.
Yes, sir.
From way back in the 80s. But what happens is today, like St. Francis, take what's going on in St. Francis. It's a national.
That's another show, Tiff.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Go ahead, Coach.
But it also speaks to what you're talking
No,
about.
no. We agree with you, but I'm just saying you give me more material to do another show than you. Yeah, we good.
No, we.
I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead. Speak on it.
You don't want it. Go ahead. Well, I've had these coaches on my radio show I do on every Saturday.
Okay.
These kids heard from the actual kids and felt like monsters when they thought that kids were not good enough or they were in the game. They only they was school, okay, and they only wanted to settle in a place where they could get the best for their future. And what you're talking about here is the training aspect, just playing. If you come to me, you can't take a shower in front of your players that your clothes on. It means you're fragile. You are a fragile young man.
Okay.
The kids because no one's taught you what you're getting into.
Okay.
Now, I've had that on my team. These kids can go in the shower with all their clothes on, but they're supposed to be the biggest, baddest son of guns on campus. But they will take the clothes, take a shower. That tells you something psychologically what you're dealing with.
Right.
Okay? So, this is a long topic.
Oh yeah. We gonna revisit. Hey, y'all know how I roll. I might do this topic again next week.
There's so many layers.
Right, because
to this.
there's a lot. So why I got all you guys on the phone, and this is on the show. This is near and dear to me. Why do we allow coaches to use profanity? If a coach uses profanity on the field, it's accepted. But if a teacher uses profanity in their classroom, the parents are ready to wring their neck.
Actually, when the children are using it to me, if somebody say, if I say it, guess what? It's a problem. I'm repeating what you guys said.
Hey.
Well, as teachers, again, we're always held at a higher level than anybody else. Teachers are held at a higher level. Okay, teachers don't have a life, whether it is at school,
right,
on the grounds, or in their personal life. You can't be out at the grocery store. You can't be at just out socially and somebody see you having a drink. It's because we're not human.
Right.
And that's unacceptable that everybody else can do what they want to do. And we are unforgiving because we are the child's role model and you're going to stand in front of my child.
So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Y'all got this is what we're going to. So we going to this is going to be a continued show next week. So but real talk. But this is what I want, and I'm going to start off with you, Coach Gray. Give my listeners, because I have over 200,000 listeners that listen to this show, and I always say that number just to let you know the magnitude of who's watching and the magnitude of the message I want you to send out.
Right.
Give my listeners something.
Okay. The topic you just said, how come you're able to cuss and we're able to cuss and they're not? When you go to the Army, your life is on the line. Trust me when I tell you this.
Amen.
You're going to football, your life is on the line. That's the most legal sport that can kill you at any moment. If you give me that laissez-faire attitude on my field, and I'm committing suicide by putting you on that field and you're not ready, that means that's why I cuss at you, because I have said this to some people in a relationship.
Okay.
And I'll talk to you later. Blah, blah, blah. No, until I said, shut the F up, that's the only time they heard me.
Got that attention.
What I'm telling you is, you got to use every tool you can to keep these kids safe, period, end of story.
All right.
Okay.
That's why you can cuss in the classroom, because a lot of those kids in the classroom are not football players.
I got 4 minutes.
But education is life and death.
Education is a life experience.
Go ahead. Hey, Tim, go ahead. Now, give me your closing thought, Tim. We gonna do this next week.
This is it. As an educator, my life experience, because guess what? When football's other people in NFL or basketball, what have you, once their career is over, what do they gain back on their academics or what built them to be on this field or this court or whatever?
Amen.
So at the end of the day, that's also a life learned lesson. Even the longevity is more dominant than any sport can ever take.
All right, Brother Wayne, give me some closing remarks, champ.
Be a parent, not an agent.
Amen. Hey. All right, Sister Laverne.
The raw ball is a rarity. It's your floor.
Go ahead, Vern. Got 2
I'll
minutes.
tell you, education is key. Everybody needs some. Everybody needs to learn their role and stay in each lane. Once we get to the intersection, we all need to cross over. The child will help us know what they need at that interpath.
All right. Hey, Coach Marshall from Fort Washington, I'm so sorry this show is ending. If you're listening to me, please call in next week, man. And we're going to get right back into it. I'm speechless, man. I want to thank the panel. Hey, thank you guys for calling in. Tiffany, the voice, Coach Gray, man, I love y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. We doing the right thing, Sister Laverne. We doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you guys. We next week, man. We coming back with this
Part 2.
Part 2.
All right.
Roll your sleeves out. All right. I'm out, man. Yeah. Get my music, Nikki. Archie Beslow show. See y'all next week.
Tiffany's one of my partners.
Oh, I'm glad.
Tiffany, because at first I didn't know that was her. I heard, I was like, Tiffany, it's my Tiffany. And, Kenny Gray, he used to coach at Meade.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Good stuff, y'all. Tell the good listeners goodbye.
Bye. See you next week. We got more to say. Trust.
All right, y'all. Peace.